Hey, thanks for stopping by. I want to show you a couple things that I've learned over the last several months on how you can get tools that are really good. I mean, high quality tools for cheap. And so let me start off by showing you I have a whole host of tools here. You see some planes here. I have some saws and some chisels. I'm going to show you a little about each one or each kind. And let me just start off. A couple of the basic tools that you're going to want in your toolkit are chisels, a mallet of some sort, some hand saws, a plane. I mean, you have to have a plane. And so let's just start off with a plane. Let me see. I will show you the first plane that I bought. I bought this plane last year. Now this is, see if I can get close here to the camera. This is a Stanley Bedrock. And believe it or not, this is highly sought after, this type of plane, because they were made just slightly different than a regular Stanley. Anyways, it's not really that important to know that, and it's not really any better than the other Stanley planes, in my opinion, from what I know. But I bought this plane for 50 cents, and I refurbished it for next to nothing. I mean, I had $10 maybe in supplies, some sandpaper and some brushes, wire wheels, you know, a little bit of oil, a few things to refurbish. But 50 cents, now that's an excellent buy. You don't find them too often for 50 cents. But let me show you a couple more. It is not uncommon to find a plane for $5. I got this at a flea market a couple weeks ago. This is actually, they were asking 10. I said, hey, will you take 5? They said, yeah. And so I cleaned it up, refurbished it for $5. I have a Stanley No. 4 smoothing plane, which I actually converted into a scrub plane. And I won't get into that now, but it's just, you know, another way to get very high quality tools. These are older tools, by the way. If I didn't mention that, the Stanley No. 4s and No. 5s that I'm going to show you today, and I think I have one No. 3, those are, I mean, probably some of these are early 1900s all the way into the 1960s is probably the range. So the older tools were obviously made much better. Everybody knows the Stanley planes are great planes. So if you want to find them inexpensively, really flea markets are the way to go. Garage sales too. I find a lot of times at flea markets, especially when they maybe run a big flea market of the year, usually I do the outside vendors. Most of the time that's where I find the planes. It's where I find the best deals. So let's see, what else do I have here? This plane I actually got last Saturday. This is another Stanley No. 4. Now here's the thing about this one. This one, let's see if I can get the camera to show you. It may be a little dark there, and I apologize for that. But this one was nearly completely refurbed. I may have to do a tiny bit of adjustment to it and sharpen the blade, but it was so clean. $20. You can't beat that. I mean, a high quality plane today is probably, I think it's probably between $250 to $300 if you buy a new one from the top makers today. And they are very good planes. Some of them have small improvements, but it's very minor. So again, I find as a new woodworker, you can't beat flea market deals. Now I want to show you what a plane might look like that you need to refurbish. Let me see here. It may look like this. Again, it may be kind of hard to see in the picture. Let's see if I can get some light. And I apologize for that. I'm new to videoing, by the way, so it's not going to be perfect yet. But basically, you can tell it's not shiny metal like this one. You can see it's just dull. It's kind of hard to tell, but it's very dull. There's some rust, light surface rust. So anyhow, I had a little pop-up on the screen that threw me off for a second. I need to remember to turn this phone into airplane mode and to turn off other notifications. Anyhow, sorry for digressing there. But those are some ideas for planes. I mean, I've got them. Most of the time I get my planes for $10 or less. And I have to do a little cleanup, and they are fantastic when they're done. So, and it's easy. Don't be intimidated on how to do it. There's a lot of videos out there. I'll put some out eventually on how to clean these up. It's really not hard at all, and it's a lot of fun to clean them up. So that's the planes. Now, I showed you a couple more things about planes though. What I've been showing you is the number 4 models. These are called smoothing planes. And I follow a couple people online that really recommend that you can do just about everything you want with a smoothing plane, especially if you're using like prepared stock that's already squared from the machine. So if you go to the Home Center, Lowe's, or Home Depot, you can buy these. You buy your wood already dimensioned. So then at that point, you really just need a smoothing plane to just finish it and do the final product. However, there are occasions to use a jack plane, and this jack plane is a little longer than the smoothing plane, and it's made to help you prepare stock that is rough. So maybe it hasn't been through a machine and you have to take off a lot of the wood to get it prepared, to get it squared, and so forth. So that's what a number 5 jack plane is for. And then the final plane that I have here is a number 3. It's just, I believe, if I remember correctly, it's just a smaller version of the number 4. It's still really considered a smoothing plane. And I actually bought this for my kids so that they would be able to hold something a little smaller and it'd be a little easier for them since they're not real strong yet. And by the way, woodworking, especially hand tool, it doesn't always require a lot of strength. Really, you don't want to brute force stuff. You want to finesse the wood, and you want to feel it, and want to go through it. So it's important that your tools are very sharp, and that's what's going to help you do this. But we can talk about that more later. I just wanted to point that out, that a lot of woodworking can be done by kids. And dads, that's where it comes in. You come in especially if you have to complete a task that your child can't do. You go ahead and complete that task, and you help let them complete other tasks and guide them, and you work together and create projects together. That's what this is all about. That's what hand tool homeschool is about, is doing things together, learning together. So, all right, now I've talked enough about planes, a lot longer than I anticipated, so forgive me for that. But I want to show you this handsaw that I have. This is actually a Henry Diston brand saw. There's a lot of different brand saws you can get. I wouldn't be too caught up in brand names and so forth. Maybe on down the line you will be a little more, but what's more important is that you get one where the blade is straight. There's not a bow, not a curve, and this one's really pretty straight. I got this last year for $1 at an estate sale, and yeah, it doesn't look brand new. I didn't even really clean it up. I probably should put a little steel wool and clean it up, but I just learned how to sharpen it. I sharpened it for $1. I have an awesome high quality handsaw. Okay, let's keep moving here. This is a brace and bit. This is the old style drills. Fantastic to use. They're actually a lot of fun. Sometimes not a lot of fun to watch, but they're a lot of fun to use if you have sharp bits. I got this the other day for $5 with the bit. And you know, I have several of these, and I've gotten them where I get them $3 and a whole bunch of bits. I mean, they are everywhere. These are, kids love to use these, and they're fun and easy. My girls love to use them. So, brace and bit, couple dollars, you'll find them all over the place. Let's see. Okay, I have this mallet, and this is Craftsman, Sears. I think it was about $10. It wasn't really any more than that, maybe $9, $10. And it has a soft face and a hard face, and this is all I ever use. I mean, I have not even attempted to use other mallets in my woodworking yet because I've been really watching Paul Sellers a lot, and so he's very good about helping people get started as well, and he uses this a lot, and I figure if a master craftsman can use it, so can I. So Craftsman, you can get this every day at your Craftsman or at your Sears store. So pretty cheap. I want to show you some chisels real quick that I got. This is a 1/2 inch, 3/4, and 1 inch chisel, and I bought these at my local hardware store for $8. I mean, listen, there's all kinds of chisels out there that you can pay $50, $100, $200, $300, and on up. You don't need to get started. These chisels for $8, they hold their edge really, really well. And it was really inexpensive. I've been using them for a year. So again, don't get all caught up in the premium expensive tools. We're really trying to go for a minimal tool set to be able to make really cool furniture, toys, whatever we're going to make. We just need minimal stuff. So you don't have to spend a lot. $8 for these. This is a marking gauge. This is used to mark your wood to figure out the depth that you want to take off, or the amount that you want to saw off the wood. And this, again, I got this for $1 at a flea market. It's an old Stanley. It's very, very nice. You can't beat it. So I found several deals like that. This is another tool you can get at Sears. This is a combination square. You got to have a square. It's very important to square your wood. When you're doing joinery, you have to have square wood so you can put the joints together and they'll fit perfect. So again, maybe 10 bucks or so. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Starrett, and some others. They're like $100, and they're probably pretty awesome. But for $10, this will do the trick. So that's a combination square. Another important tool is a marking knife. This is a Stanley, and its model number is 10-049. I got this as an add-on item on Amazon for $5, and it may not have come with an extra blade, but the extra blade pack was maybe $2. So this is important, though. A marking knife you got to have. Okay, this saw is my Dovetail Saw, and this is a Veritas. Now I actually spent a little more for this. I spent about $55 or $60 after tax at my local woodcraft shop. And the reason I did that is because I didn't know how to sharpen saws. I didn't have the supplies to sharpen saws to begin with. So I bought this really pretty close up front to when I got into woodworking. And it's a fantastic saw, and I would highly recommend it. $50, $60 still isn't a lot for a nice saw, and this will be a lifetime saw for you. You can sharpen it, and it'll go forever. So, and this cuts very, very nice dovetails. So I really like this saw. Let's see, what else do we have? I've gone over planes, saws, brace and bit, marking knife, mallet, marking gauge, pencil. And I tell you what, I will put some information down below the video that lists what I would consider your tools that you absolutely have to have. As you keep going, you will grow, and you will want or need more tools. And also, well, let's just put it this way, there's always more tools to be had. But I find that the more minimal you keep it, the less it costs you. You can still get the work done. And then once you need something, you just grow into it. You just get a tool as you need it. So anyway, that's just a quick little bit about these tools. You know, I really didn't intend to go through all the tools in your toolkit in this video, so I'm probably going to do a separate one. I actually intended just to show you that these tools are not that expensive if you're willing to do a little bit of searching for them, maybe at flea markets or so, estate sales, something like that. But you can also buy new tools. There's new tools out there, and I probably will be testing some of those tools. And you can get those at Lowe's today. So that would be nice in case you didn't have time to search around. You could go get something that you could use to start with. It's out there. It exists for sure. Don't get too hung up on not having stuff. The important thing is that you get started, and get started the best way you can with your budget, what you can do. You know, I love the woodworking communities, but there's a lot of woodworking snobs. And I don't say that to point fingers at anybody. That's why I'm not naming anyone. But some of these guys, nothing works unless it's the best of the best for them. Well, not everyone has a budget to do that. I certainly don't. And I've collected a nice collection of tools over the last year for a few $100s. So again, there's more things you need. I will do more in a video about that. We still need sharpening supplies. We'll have to talk about that, things like that. Anyhow, this is how you get tools cheap. Search around, take your time. Flea market, flea market, flea markets. All right. Oh, and by the way, eBay. If you want to do eBay, eBay's a great place to buy. You're going to pay a little more now because they're more in demand. You won't get as good of a deal as you will at a flea market or garage sale. But eBay is still a great option. They still have good prices. You'll still pick up good deals, and it'll be a lot quicker for you if you need something pretty soon. So anyway, all right. I feel like I rambled a bit, but I wanted you to know my experience in collecting the tools I need for my toolkit. All right. So until next time, get to woodworking, get to collecting your tools, and read a lot about this stuff. It's really fun, especially when you start taking that first shaving off with a plane. It's awesome. All right. Thanks a lot. Take care. God bless.